The stars had seen many species rise and fall. For thousands of years, the Galactic Council ruled over known space. It was made up of the oldest and strongest alien races. There were the tall, shining Vorath, with bodies like living crystal. There were the Krell, who had 6 arms and moved like fast water. There were the Elysians, who floated as clouds of glowing gas. These 3 led the council, and hundreds of smaller species followed their rules. The council watched new worlds from far away. When a species learned to travel between stars, the council sent an invitation. "Join us," they said. "Follow our laws, share your resources, accept our protection." Most species said yes quickly. They wanted the safety and the trade. They wanted to be part of something big. Then came humans. Earth sent its first real starship in the year humans called 2014-70. The ship was named Endeavor. It was not very big compared to council vessels, but it moved fast and carried brave people. Captain John Harris stood on the bridge. He was a tall man with short brown hair and calm blue eyes. He had spent 20 years flying ships and training crews. Next to him stood Lieutenant Susan Brooks. She was shorter, with dark hair tied back, and a sharp mind for details. She handled weapons and navigation. Behind them was Robert Klein, the diplomat. Robert was older, with gray at his temples. He spoke softly, but carried weight in his words. The Endeavor reached the neutral border station called Nexus Point. This was the place where new species met the council for the first time. The station was huge, shaped like a silver ring that turned slowly in space. Lights from 1,000 windows glowed against the black. A council shuttle came to meet them. It was smooth and perfect, made of material that looked like liquid metal. The humans stepped inside. They wore simple blue uniforms with the Earth symbol on the chest, a blue globe with white lines. The aliens wore robes of light, or nothing at all. The council chamber was the biggest room any of them had ever seen. The floor was clear, and below it, stars moved slowly. Seats rose in circles around a central platform. Thousands of eyes watched from every direction. The Vorath elder named Zorath Vel stood tallest. His crystal body flashed different colors when he spoke. A Krell named Thalor Kai waved 6 arms in greeting. An Elysian cloud named Lyra drifted near the ceiling, its glow soft and blue. Zorath Vel spoke first. His voice came from everywhere at once. "Welcome, children of Earth. We have watched your world for a long time. You have learned fire, then flight, then the jump between stars. You are young, but you show promise. The Galactic Council offers you a place among us." Robert Klein stepped forward. "We thank you for the invitation. We would like to hear the terms." The terms came quickly. Humans could join as a provisional member. They must limit how many worlds they settled. They must send a large part of their mined metals and rare elements to Council stores. They must share all new technology with the Council before using it themselves. They must accept Council ships in their space for protection. And they must follow every law the Council made, now and forever. John Harris listened without moving. Susan Brooks wrote notes on a small screen. Robert Klein kept his face calm. When the list ended, Zorath Vel added one more thing. "You are a violent species. You fight wars on your own world. You damage your air and water. You spread fast. These things worry us. That is why the rules are strict. Join and we will guide you. Refuse and you walk alone." The chamber became very quiet. Every alien waited for the human answer. John Harris looked at Susan, then at Robert. They gave small nods. He turned back to the council. "Thank you for your words," John said. His voice was clear and steady. "Earth has thought about this for many years. We respect what you have built, but we do not want these rules. Humanity chooses to walk its own path. We will not join." A soft sound moved through the chamber. It was laughter, but cold and sharp. Zorath Vel tilted his crystal head. "You refuse? You who have only one small system? You who still use chemical rockets in some places? You think you can stand alone? We already stand alone, John answered. We always have. Thalor Kai waved his arms fast. You will run out of resources. Your people will fight each other again. Your worlds will die from your own mistakes. Then you will come back and beg. Susan Brooks spoke for the first time. We have made mistakes. We learn from them. We fix what we break. We do not need someone else to tell us how. Lyra the Elysian pulsed brighter. Isolation is death for young species. You will see. Robert Klein smiled a little. Maybe, but we would rather find out for ourselves. The council members looked at each other. Some shook their heads. Some made sounds of pity. Zorath Vel raised one shining arm. So be it. You are free to leave. The invitation is closed. Do not return unless you accept our terms. John Harris gave a small bow. We understand. Thank you for your time. The humans turned and walked out. Their steps were slow and sure. No one rushed. No one looked back. Behind them the laughter grew louder. Zorath Vel spoke to the others in the old council language. Let them go. They are like young animals who run from the pack. They will starve, or the dark will eat them. In a few cycles they will crawl back. We will be ready to teach them their place. Thalor Kai clicked his mandibles. They think they are special. All new ones think that. Lyra drifted lower. Their ship is small. Their weapons are basic. They have no allies. They will fade. The council turned away from the human delegation. Screens changed to other matters. Trade deals, border disputes, new invitations to worthier species. The endeavor was already a small memory. Outside, the humans boarded their shuttle. John Harris sat in the pilot's seat. Susan Brooks checked the engines. Robert Klein looked out the window at the huge silver ring. They laughed at us, Susan said quietly. John started the engines. Let them laugh. The shuttle pulled away from Nexus Point. The Endeavor waited beyond the ring, lights bright against the dark. The three humans watched the station grow smaller. Robert spoke softly. Do you think they are right? Will we fail out there? John looked straight ahead. Maybe. But if we fail, it will be our failure, not theirs. Susan smiled for the first time since they arrived. And if we succeed? John pushed the throttle forward. The shuttle raced toward the Endeavor. Then we show them what humans can do when no one holds the leash. The stars opened wide before them. The council chamber was already busy with other things. They did not watch the small Earth ship disappear into the black. They did not see the fire that burned in three human hearts. They did not know that this moment, this quiet walk away, would become the start of something the galaxy had never seen before. The Endeavor jumped back to Earth space. Word of the meeting spread fast. People on Earth did not cry or get angry. They listened to John Harris's report and then got to work. The council had said no to easy rules. Humans said, fine, we make our own rules. Years went by. In space, years pass slow for aliens who live long. For humans, time moved quick. 10 Earth years felt like nothing to the Vorath or Krell. They checked on humanity once in a while. Their long-range scanners saw new lights appear in empty parts of the map. Small dots at first, then more dots, then lines of dots. Humans were moving out. They did not ask permission. They picked hard places the council called useless. A red planet with thin air and dust storms. A moon covered in ice that cracked like glass. A world with volcanoes that never stopped spitting fire. The council had marked these places red on their maps. Do not settle. Too dangerous. Too empty. Humans went anyway. On the ice moon called Frosthaven, a woman named Linda Hayes led the first team. She was strong, with short blonde hair and hands that knew tools better than words. Her crew built domes from metal they brought and ice they melted. Inside the domes, air got warm. Plants grew under bright lamps. Water came from deep cracks in the rock. Linda's people learned fast. When a storm broke a power line, they fixed it in hours. When cold metal cracked, they made new parts from scrap. Frosthaven grew from 1 dome to 10, then 20. Families came, Children played in tunnels lined with green. On the fire world named Ember Reach, William Carter ran the mining camps. William was quiet and tall. He had black hair and always wore gloves because his hands were scarred from hot work. The ground shook every day. Lava rivers flowed close to the camps. But under the black rock lay metals the council wanted but never took. William's teams dug deep. They built machines that ate stone and spit out clean ore. They cooled the machines with water pipes that ran for miles. When a vent opened and fire poured out, William's crew sealed it with quick-setting foam they made themselves. Ember Reach sent ship after ship full of iron, nickel, and rare elements back to Earth. No council tax, no overseers. In the empty space between stars, Susan Brooks flew the scout ships. She was now Commander Brooks. Her hair had some gray, but her eyes were still sharp. She found hidden resources no one else saw. A belt of rocks rich in water ice. A dead star with planets that still had good soil. She marked them, sent coordinates home, and moved on. Her fleet grew. At first 10 ships, then 50, then 200. Each one built better than the last. Engines ran cooler and jumped farther. Shields took more hits. Guns shot straighter. Humans did not copy council tech. They improved their own. Earth changed too. Cities got cleaner. Air got better. People planted trees on old factory land. Power came from small suns and fusion plants. Food came from big farms under glass, and from sea gardens. Population grew, but not wild. Every new child had a place. Schools taught science, building, and survival. Young people dreamed of stars, not just screens. The council watched, but not closely. Their reports came in short bursts. A Vorath analyst named Vexar Lore filed a note. Human expansion continues, rate steady, no aggression noted, resources self-sourced, provisional status denied, observation level, low. A Krell scout ship passed near Frosthaven once. The pilot saw lights on the ice, and domes that glowed warm. He sent pictures back. The council looked and shrugged. They cling to rocks we would not touch. Let them freeze. On Ember Reach, a council probe drifted by. It scanned the mines. It saw humans working in heat suits, laughing as they pulled ore from the ground. The probe sent data. The council read it and filed it away. Primitive methods, effective, but limited. No threat. They did not see the real changes. Humans traded with each other. Ships from Frosthaven carried frozen food to Ember Reach. Ships from Earth brought tools and medicine to both. No big markets, no taxes, just people helping people. A colony on a green world called New Hope grew grain and sent it to dry places. A station in deep space repaired ships for anyone who paid fair. Word spread quiet. Some small species heard. A few sent traders. Humans sold food, fixed engines, traded stories. They asked no one for permission. Admiral John Harris worked from a new ship called Liberty. It was bigger than Endeavor. The bridge had wide windows and soft lights. John was older now. Lines on his face showed years of hard choices. But he still stood straight. Susan Brooks stood with him often. Robert Klein came too, though he spent more time on Earth now, talking to leaders. One day John called a meeting on Liberty. Officers from different colonies sat around a long table. Screens showed maps of human space. Dots of light marked every home. "We walked away," John said. "They laughed. Now look." He pointed to the map. Human lights spread wide, not in a neat circle like council worlds, in long arms, in clusters, in places no one expected. "They think we are weak because we do not join," Susan said. "They do not see we are free." William Carter spoke from his screen on Ember Reach. "They want our metals. Let them come ask. We sell if the price is right, not before." Linda Hayes nodded from Frosthaven. "Our children are born here. This is home, not some council hall." Robert Klein leaned forward. "We do not fight them. We do not need to. We build, we grow. If they come back one day, they will see what they missed." John looked at each face. "We keep going. No rush. No fear, just forward. Ships left for new jumps. Workers returned to mines and farms. Scouts flew into the dark. The council did one more check. A Krell named Thalor Kai looked at the latest scans. He saw more lights, more ships, more worlds with human names. He made a small sound in his throat. Still no request for membership, he told the others. They spread like weeds. Zorath Vel flashed dim colors. Weeds die without water. They will dry up soon. Lyra pulsed slow, or they will cover the garden. The council turned back to their own matters. Trade routes, old wars, new invitations to better behave species. They did not notice how fast human ships moved now. They did not count how many factories ran day and night. They did not hear the quiet promise humans made to each other. We build for tomorrow, not for someone else's yesterday. Out in the black, a new ship left dry dock on Earth. Its name was Horizon. It carried families, tools, seeds, and hope. Captain Mary Ellis stood on the bridge. She was young, with red hair and steady hands. She looked at the stars ahead. "Course set," she said. The engines hummed. The ship jumped. Behind it, the old council worlds turned slow and sure. In front, the dark waited. More years passed. The galaxy stayed calm on the surface. Trade ships moved along old routes. Council laws held firm. But under the calm, something stirred. A star deep in the outer rim began to die in a bad way. It was not a normal death. This star spun too fast. It pulled in gas and dust from nearby space. Then it started throwing out strong beams of energy. These beams cut through everything in their path. Ships vanished. Stations cracked open. Whole worlds lost power when the beams hit their suns or moons. The council called it the neutron crisis. They said it was rare. They said they could fix it. They gathered their big fleet. Vorath battleships with crystal armor. Krell carriers full of small fighters. Elysian clouds that could shield whole sectors. They made plans in long meetings. Every step needed votes from many species. Every order went through layers of checks. Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. While they talked, the beams kept coming. More ships died. More colonies asked for help that came too late. Humans watched from far away. Their scouts saw the first signs early. Commander Susan Brooks flew close to the danger zone in her fast ship, the Raven. She sent pictures and data back to Admiral John Harris on the Liberty. The beams moved in patterns. The star was not random. It was angry, like a machine gone wrong. John called his people together again. Screens showed the dying star and the broken roots. Robert Klein, now an old man with white hair, sat at the table. William Carter joined from Ember Reach. Linda Hayes spoke from Frosthaven. Mary Ellis, captain of the Horizon, listened from her new colony. "This is not our fight," John said. "But people are dying. Families, children. We can help." Susan nodded. "Our ships are fast. Our reactors are small and strong. We can reach places the council cannot." Robert spoke slow. "If we help, they will see us. They will know we are not weak." William crossed his arms. "Let them see. We do not hide." They decided. No big announcement. No demands. Just action. The first human ships left quietly. Freighters loaded with food packs, water filters, and portable power units. Medical pods that could heal burns and broken bones. Engineers who knew how to fix anything. They jumped to the damaged worlds. On a planet called Terran 4, the beam had cut the main city in half. Buildings lay in pieces. People hid in shelters with little food. A council relief ship was still 2 weeks away. Then a human freighter appeared in orbit. Its name was Hope. Captain David Lee opened the cargo bays. Shuttles flew down with crates. Inside were meals that tasted like home, clean water, and blankets that held heat. David's team worked fast. They set up fusion lamps that gave light and power. They cleared rubble with machines that lifted tons. They treated the hurt in field hospitals. A mother with 2 small children thanked David with tears. "We thought no one would come," she said. David smiled. "Someone always comes." More ships followed. From New Hope came grain ships. From Frosthaven came cold weather gear for worlds turned dark and frozen. From Ember Reach came spare parts for broken generators. Humans did not wait for thanks. They worked, fixed, fed, and left for the next place. The council heard the reports late. A Vorath watcher named Vexar Lore looked at the scans. Human ships everywhere, moving quick, helping without orders. He sent a message to the chamber. Earth species is active in the crisis zone. They provide aid. No request for payment, no claim on territory. Zorath Vel flashed bright with surprise. How many ships? Over 200 confirmed. More arriving. Thalor Kai waved his arms. They have no right. This is council space. Lyra pulsed dim. They do not ask for rights. They simply act. Some wanted to stop the humans. Others said let them help. The votes dragged on. While they voted, human engineers reached a broken trade station called Relay Gamma. The station spun out of control. Its core was failing. If it blew, 3 systems would lose all power. A human team led by engineer Sarah Mitchell docked fast. Sarah was young, with brown curls and quick hands. Her crew cut into the damaged core. They replaced parts with ones they carried. They cooled the overheating coils with special foam. When the station shook, they held steady. In 3 days, Relay Gamma spun true again. Lights came back on. Ships could dock once more. News spread. Alien traders saw humans work. Some came to thank them. A small species called the Mirons sent a message. "You saved our people. We will remember." The crisis slowly ended. The neutron star settled. Its beams grew weak. The council fleet arrived at last. They found many worlds already healing, stations running, people fed. They claimed victory, but everyone knew who moved first. Months later, the council sent a formal message to Earth. It came to the Liberty. John Harris read it on the bridge. Susan stood beside him. The message said thank you. It praised the quick help. Then it offered new terms. Join as full members now. The old rules still applied, but with small changes. Humans would get a seat at the table. They could keep some colonies. The council would forget the past refusal. John looked at the screen for a long time. Robert Klein came to the bridge. "What will you say?" John turned to Susan. "Tell them." Susan sent the reply, short and clear. "Earth thanks the council for the offer. We helped because it was needed, not for seats or rules. Humanity remains free. We walk our own path." The message ended. No more words. In the council chamber, Zorath Vel read the reply aloud. The room went quiet. Thalor Kai clicked his mandibles. They refuse again. Vexar Lore checked his data. Their help saved millions. Their ships outran ours. Their people worked without rest. Zorath Vel dimmed his light. We thought they would beg. Instead they give, then leave. Lyra floated low. We offered guidance. They showed strength. The elders looked at each other. No laughter this time. Only silence. Outside, human ships returned home. They carried stories of worlds saved. Children on Frosthaven heard about the mother on Terran 4. Miners on Ember Reach shared tools with new friends. Scouts like Susan Brooks flew farther, looking for the next challenge. The galaxy noticed. Small species whispered, "Humans do not wait. Humans do not bow. Humans help, then go." The council filed the crisis away. They marked the files, resolved. But in quiet moments, some delegates watched the human dots on their maps. The dots grew, not in fear, not in anger, just steady, like a river that finds its way. John Harris stood on the Liberty's observation deck. Stars filled the window. Susan joined him. "They see us now," she said. John nodded. "Good, let them see." He turned back to the stars. The path ahead was wide and open. Decades slipped by like quiet shadows. Human lights now dotted the galaxy in wide patterns. Colonies stood strong on worlds once called impossible. Ships moved faster, tougher, smarter. People lived better lives, with clean air, full bellies, and children who grew up looking at stars as old friends. The Council still watched from time to time. Their reports grew shorter. Humans spread. Humans built. Humans stayed silent. No threats, no pleas, just steady growth. Then the Devourer swarm came. No one saw it at first. It started small. A scout ship vanished near the edge of known space. Then a mining outpost went dark. Then a whole trade route stopped answering. The Council sent probes. The probes sent back pictures of black clouds that moved like living smoke. Inside the clouds were millions of tiny machines. They ate metal, stone, flesh, anything. They grew fast. They learned. They spread. The swarm had no words, no leaders, only hunger. The first big battle happened at the border world of Krell Prime. The Council sent their strongest fleet. Crystal battleships fired bright beams. Krell carriers launched swarms of fighters. Elysian shields wrapped the planet like soft fog. For a day they held. Then the black clouds broke through. They covered the ships. They ate the hulls from the outside in. Fighters vanished one by one. Shields flickered and died. The planet's cities burned as the swarm dropped down. In hours, Krell Prime became a dead rock. Panic spread through the council chamber. Delegates shouted. Screens showed more worlds falling. The Vorath lost 3 colonies in a week. The Elysians pulled back their clouds to protect their core gas worlds. Smaller species ran or hid. The swarm did not stop. It moved inward, toward the heart of council space. Zorath Vel stood in the center of the chamber. His crystal body flashed red with fear. We need all fleets. Every ally. Thalor Kai waved his arms wild. We have no more allies. The ones we had are gone. Lyra pulsed weak and gray. We must call for help. Anyone. They sent the message wide. Every channel, every frequency. A simple plea. The Devourer swarm destroys all. Aid us, save us, name your price. Most species stayed silent. Some had already fallen. Others feared the swarm too much to answer. Then one signal came back. Quiet, clear. It was from the Liberty. Admiral John Harris read the plea on his bridge. He was old now. His hair white, his face lined deep, but his eyes still burned steady. Susan Brooks stood beside him. She had gray streaks too, but her back stayed straight. Robert Klein sat in a chair nearby. He walked with a stick these days, but his mind stayed sharp. John looked at the message for a long time. They ask for help, Susan said. They ask for anything, Robert added. No terms this time, just save us. John turned to the window. Stars filled the black. Somewhere out there, the swarm ate worlds. We could stay out, John said. Let them fall. Take what is left later. Susan shook her head. That is not us. Robert nodded slow. We help, but on our terms. John smiled small. Yes, our terms. He gave the order. Mobilize everything. Human fleets gathered fast. Not in one big parade, in small groups that jumped smart. Ships from Frosthaven carried cold-hardened fighters. Ships from Ember Reach brought heavy guns and thick armor. Ships from New Hope carried food and repair drones. The Horizon joined with its fast scouts. Mary Ellis, now older, flew lead on one wing. The armada numbered thousands. Not the biggest the galaxy had seen, but the best. Every ship built by people who knew failure and fixed it. Every crew trained to think fast. Every weapon tested in real dark. They jumped to the first swarm front. A Vorath world called Crystal Vale was half gone. Black clouds covered the sky. Vorath ships floated broken in orbit. Susan Brooks led the first strike. Her ship Raven jumped close. It dropped decoys, small drones that looked like human ships. The swarm chased them. While the clouds followed, human heavy cruisers moved in. They fired new weapons. Not bright beams. sharp pulses tuned to break the tiny machines inside the swarm. The pulses hit like hammers. Clouds tore open. Pieces fell like ash. On the ground, human drop pods landed. Teams in strong suits ran to the cities. They cleared nests of swarm bugs. They saved who they could. A Vorath child clung to a soldier named Mark Turner. Mark carried the child to safety. "You are safe now," he said in simple words the child understood. The battle turned. The swarm learned. It sent bigger clouds. It grew spikes that punched through armor. But humans adapted faster. Engineers on the Liberty made changes in hours. New shields, better pulses, smarter decoys. When the swarm tried to surround a human fleet, Susan used a trick. She pulled her ships back fast, then jumped behind the enemy. They fired into the soft center. The cloud broke. Word spread. The swarm slowed. Worlds that waited for death saw lights again. Human ships arrived before the Council could. One fight stood out. The core world of Elisara. The Elysians floated helpless as the swarm closed in. Their gas clouds could not fight machines. Then the Liberty jumped in. John Harris gave the order himself. Full spread. Protect the core. Human ships formed a ring. They held the swarm back. Pulse after pulse. Decoy after decoy. When a big cloud pushed through, William Carter led a team in heavy suits. They boarded the cloud's heart. They planted charges. They blew it from inside. The cloud screamed in silence and died. The Elysians watched. Their glow turned bright with thanks. The swarm weakened. Its numbers dropped. Its movements slowed. Human fleets chased it back. They cut its paths. They burned its nests. In the last big clash, near a dead star, the swarm made one final push. Thousands of clouds rushed forward. John stood on the bridge, Susan at his side. "Now," he said. Every human ship fired at once. The pulses met in the center. A wave of light and force rolled out. The swarm clouds shredded. The last pieces drifted apart, then nothing. Silence. The battle ended. The Liberty sent one message to the Council. "We have stopped the swarm. We ask nothing. We leave now." No occupation, no bases, no new rules. Human ships turned. They jumped home, quiet, clean. In the council chamber, what was left of the delegates watched the feeds. Zorath Vel stood dim. Thalor Kai's arms hung still. Lyra barely glowed. Zorath Vel spoke soft. "They came, they fought, they won, they left." A young Vorath analyst stepped forward. "They lost few ships. They saved many worlds. They asked for nothing." Thalor Kai clicked once. We laughed once. Robert Klein, back on Earth, sat with John and Susan. They looked at a screen showing the empty battle zone. "They will remember," Robert said. Susan smiled. "Let them." John looked out at the stars. "We did what we do. We walked away again." But this time, no one laughed. The galaxy watched the human lights move outward once more. Steady, strong, free. And somewhere deep in the council hall, an old crystal elder whispered to himself, "We let them walk away, and we were wrong." The silence, after the swarm fell, felt heavy. No cheers rang across the stars. No victory parades filled the council halls. Worlds that had waited for death now breathed again. Lights came back on in cities. Children stepped out of shelters. People looked up at skies that were clear once more. But the ones who remembered the black clouds never forgot who arrived first. Human ships left as quietly as they came. They did not stay to claim land. They did not build bases on saved worlds. They did not ask for gold or power. One by one, the fleets jumped home. The Liberty led the way. Admiral John Harris stood on the bridge for the last jump. His hands rested on the rail. Susan Brooks stood close. Robert Klein sat nearby, eyes tired but calm. John looked at the view screen. The battle zone drifted behind them. Broken swarm pieces floated like dark dust. We did enough, John said. Susan nodded. More than enough. Robert spoke soft. They will talk about this for a long time. The Liberty jumped. Stars stretched, then snapped back. Home waited. In the council chamber, the air felt different. The room looked smaller now. Many seats stood empty. The Vorath who once filled the high rows were fewer. The Krell who waved arms in pride now kept them still. The Elysians drifted low, their glow weak and gray. Zorath Vel stood in the center. His crystal body no longer flashed bright. It looked dull, cracked in places from stress. He looked up at screens that still showed human ships leaving. They are gone, he said. His voice came quiet from everywhere. Thalor Kai clicked once, slow. They saved us, then they left. No words, no demands. A young Vorath delegate named Nexar Vor stepped forward. He had been a child when humans first walked away. Now he spoke for many. They fought better than we did. They moved faster. They fought clearer. They lost fewer lives, and they asked for nothing. Lyra pulsed once, faint. We offered them a place long ago. Strict rules, control. They said no. Zorath Vel turned his head slow. We laughed. We said they would beg. We said they were weak. The chamber stayed quiet. No one argued. Nexar Vor looked at the old elder. We were wrong. Zorath Vel did not answer right away. He stared at the empty space where the human message had appeared. The words still hung in the records. We have stopped the swarm. We ask nothing. We leave now. Those words burned like cold fire. Thalor Kai spoke next. What do we do? Zorath Vel raised one arm. The motion looked heavy. We change. The council met for days. They did not vote on new rules for others. They voted on themselves. No more strict terms for new species. No more demands for control. They wrote a new record, a simple one. Some species need no guide. Some species surpass the guide. Humanity is one. They sent no new invitation to Earth. They knew it would be refused. Instead, they opened their old files. They studied human ships, human tactics, human ways, not to copy, to understand. Small species noticed first. The Mirons sent traders to human colonies again. This time they came as friends, not beggars. They brought gifts, rare stones, songs, stories. Humans welcomed them. No taxes, no guards, just open hands. A trader from Miron spoke to Captain Mariellis on New Hope. You saved my people once. Now we come to learn from you. Mary smiled. Learn what you want. We share. Word spread farther. Other small races sent ships. They asked questions. How do you build fast? How do you fix hard problems? How do you live without a big council? Humans answered plain. We try, we fail, we fix, we keep going. On Frosthaven, Linda Hayes, now old but still strong, watched her grandchildren play in warm domes. She told them stories of the first walk away, of the laughter in the council hall, of the swarm and the fight. One child asked, "Did they say sorry?" Linda shook her head. They did not need to. They learned. On Ember Reach, William Carter walked the mines. Younger workers listened to him now. He told them the same. We never waited for permission. We never will. Back on Earth, John Harris retired to a small house near the sea. He sat on a porch most days. Susan Brooks visited often. Robert Klein came too. They talked little about the past. They watched the sky instead. One evening, a message arrived from the council. Not an invitation, not a demand, just words. We record your actions. We honor your freedom. The galaxy is wider because of you. John read it. He smiled small. They finally understand. Susan looked at the stars. Took 'em long enough. Robert laughed quiet. Better late. John folded the message. He put it away. Out in space, new human ships left docks every day. Names like Dawn, Unity, Frontier. Captains like young Mark Turner flew them. Families filled the holds. Seeds, tools, hope. They picked new worlds, hard ones, Empty ones, they turned them green, they built homes, they looked out at the dark and saw possibility. The council watched from far, not with fear, not with anger, with something new, respect. Zorath Vel stood alone in the chamber one night. The lights were low, the seats empty. He spoke to no one. We watched them walk away. We let them go. And in that moment, we lost more than we knew. His crystal dimmed. A single color flashed, soft blue, like regret. The stars turned slow. Human lights grew brighter. Not to conquer, not to rule, just to live, to grow, to be free. And the galaxy, once ruled by old laws and old laughs, learned a simple truth. Some paths do not need maps. Some people do not need kings. Humanity walked its own way. And the stars belonged to them, not because they took them, but because they earned them. One quiet step at a time.